morning. Good morning. It's nostalgia. Long hits. Are you ready for some dirty women? Let's go! Here it comes. You're ready for the dirty women. Good morning. Let's go. We're back. Let's go. Let's get up for the dirty women out there. Let's go. Come on, we're back. Come on. Let's keep those kids from getting Pokemon cards. We're back. Someone's got to do it. We're back. Welcome to the channel. Good morning, everyone. And we have a good bit to talk about this morning. First off, in silver news, we're back. We hit 82. We're on the rise. Most people think the bull market is coming, that the run to 120 is almost inevitable. And we're about to see where that pans out. Are we going to go above 120? Like I think we will this time. Could be wrong. Maybe it isn't this time. Maybe they're just fucking with you. But eventually, when it breaks, it will break violently. And something I had to really go back and remind myself of when silver recently dropped. I kind of had all my big bars put away. I really only had a couple coins, just laying around to play with. And, I had to break out my first ever kilo. Getting my first kilo as a stacker was just a journey I will always remember of when I bought my first kilo bar of silver, where it just reminded me of how truly unique the metal is. How it's not just some small coin, that it's not just some random metal, It's really like copper on steroids, essentially, is what silver is. It's like a more reliable, more expensive, valuable version of copper. That's essentially what silver is. And it's a very unique metal for its electrical properties alone. And its abilities to make reliable electrical products to where other metals like copper just wouldn't quite suffice. And I don't know about everybody else, but like if you haven't went out and bought a kilo of silver, I don't think you'll ever understand. If you've never bought like just a big bar to hold in your hands of the safety that you feel compared to holding like a pile of paper money, that this metal cannot be really like devalued by much. It cannot be taken away from you. It's never going to just hit zero. And how it really is a very safe form of money. And if you haven't noticed, in the media, there's two words they never say. I'm curious if any of you would guess them, what the two words are. Silver and Jesus. Like, those are the two things that, like, media hates to even acknowledge. Like they have made it a point to, like, purposely never mention silver. They'll mention gold. They hate mentioning gold, too. But they really hate to mention silver. I mean, they literally act like it doesn't even exist until it is just undeniable. The articles are usually always extremely bearish. They never take it seriously. They never take it seriously. They're always really bearish. I just seen an article last week that's like silver will always trade between $50 and $100 for years to come. And that is when you hear this lying ass machine tell you that something big is on the cusps. And it was funny because the media, they ignored silver when it was $20 an ounce. They didn't think to tell people, hey, that's a good investment. Didn't even cross their minds. I think it did. They just don't do it. But to not tell people to buy silver at $20 an ounce is like, what? You know what I mean? And even during its rise to 120, the media just totally outright almost ignored it as if silver doesn't even exist. Same with copper. Silver and copper, they just are like the two metals that the media just does not want to talk about. Like, they really want all investors to believe in the stock market and that mess. And they really do not want you getting their silver or their copper, either one. And in my opinion, those two metals right there are probably going to do the absolute best out of all the metals. And it's funny because, I watched Rick Rule, and he's very bullish on gold. But I think he sold silver at like 70 or something. And, you started thinking like, this guy's a very smart guy. You started thinking like, wow, Rick Rule, man. Everybody talks about Rick Rule. And then I started to compare myself to Rick Rule. And I'm like, wait a minute. I know more than this fucking guy does. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, am I not giving myself enough credentials here? Like, I probably have more money than Rick Rule. as far as I know. I don't know what the guy's wealth is. I haven't looked into it, but like, as far as I know, I'm a more credible source than this guy is. I'm a more credible source than 99% of YouTubers. That I'm not like just some guy that has crawled out of, their mom's basement and is making a YouTube channel. Like, I'm a very successful man that has been in these markets for years. And I have absolutely killed it in all of them. That I'm like, why the fuck am I listening to this guy? You know what I mean? When I already know what I need to know. And if you've been watching this channel, you already know what you need to know about silver. And the difference between silver and gold. There's a difference. There's not just blindly buy silver or gold. There's going to be a victor. There's going to be a winner in the metals. And there's going to be probably a loser. And I honestly think that loser is going to be gold. Even though I have some money in gold, I don't think it's going to do better than silver. At all. And I don't, even at these prices, like at the current prices, like today, right now, if you were to buy something, I think $80 silver or $82 silver will outperform $4,800 gold. And everyone has this like argument of that can't happen, and it's like, dude, gold was literally $200. Everyone thought that it couldn't go to $4,000 or $5,000, and here it is. Silver's still in those early stages of, it could still go to 500 with ease. It could still go to 1,000 with ease. But people aren't patient. They don't want to wait. They don't want to do something against what everyone else is doing. And when I invest, that tends to be what I usually do. I tend to go against what the masses think, and I tend to 80 to 90% of the time be right. That I challenge any YouTuber. I challenge any person to my track record. Now, next thing I want to get into, we're going to get into Pokemon Sword and Shield era. I think Sword and Shield era is about to pop. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Sword and Shield era. But, I started thinking about this the other day, that even Battle Styles booster boxes in Sword and Shield, someone still held those for 4 years for you. And they're only like $300. It is crazy when you think about it. But when you think of your missed opportunity cost, that like if you, instead of buying a Battle Styles booster box, you could have bought a 151 UPC for $100 instead of Battle Styles, and it's now $1,000. That could trigger a lot of people to being like, well, I've held onto this box for 4 years. 151 just came out and it's that much. And we're already starting to see a rise in like Evolving Skies booster boxes. We're starting to see them almost approach the $3,000. Like they're getting from like 26 to 2,700. We're seeing Fusion Strike hit that 11 to 1,200 range, and I want to make this very clear that these boxes are 4 years old now, folks, and it kind of happened like that, And when I look back, Sun and Moon era, around its 4-year-old stage, that was when Cosmic Eclipse went from $1,000 to $4,000, and we could be ramping up with that with Fusion Strike. As crazy as it sounds, that it could ramp up to be a $4,000 booster box, and who knows? At the end of the day, it's just something to consider. And Evolving Skies, we could see it be a $5,000-$6,000 box, no problem. It's been, kind of sitting there for so long and not really going up. Cosmic Eclipse is another one. Like that booster box has sat at $4,000 for the longest time. And Unified Minds has set at $3,000 for the longest time. And they just have not done anything. They just sat there. They haven't went down. but they haven't really went up either in a long time. And it seems like they're overwhelmingly due a big pump. And I don't want to like get people's hopes up or anything, so they go out and take on these risky ass positions, because at this point buying any of this stuff is a very risky ass position. But like something like Lost Origin at 700 a booster box, I don't even consider it that risky. That's why I say buying Rivals is like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You're buying a new booster box for $600. Like Rivals at 200, great, sure, good investment. But at 600, when for $100 more you have a Lost Origin booster box, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. That I would go with Lost Origin every day of the week. I still don't think like there's much downside to Lost Origin booster boxes. But I mean, even same with Chilling Reign. It's still like, I think it did just hit 600. So even that has slightly went up, but it's still cheap. But either way, my main thing is Southern Islands Melee. I need to get that damn collection box before it spikes, and I think it's already starting to go up. Like I said, I was telling you guys to get that on this channel. It's a kill. That is a killer investment. That's something you really should buy for 10 grand. Because I really don't think we'll ever see it this cheap in the next year or two. Like I think Southern Islands Mew collection box will probably skyrocket to like 30 or 40 grand, man. That's a box I know I need to get my hands on quick. I just haven't been able to find one. Well, I found one on eBay, but I really want to find one in person. That's the part that sucks. Now that we covered both of the fascinating investments, I'm trying to think. There's something else I wanted to talk about. Silver, gold, Pokemon. I think that is everything. Oh, no, there was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. Our house deal. Man, I was getting worried. I thought our house was going to fall through. So we paid for the appraisal, which is $750 out of my pocket. Because you have to do it if you're like borrowing the bank's money. And after the appraisal, I didn't have the owner of the home didn't like hit me back. I was like, hey, how'd the appraisal go? Like, so it was Wednesday. And they just didn't reply for like 2 days. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, you better fucking reply. And then I was like biting my nails. I'm like, dude, did they tell them it was worth like 170? And they're like, oh, fuck no. And luckily they replied, they're like, no, I just didn't feel good. And they're like, I guess they were sick. And they're like, no, it's all good. They're like, we got the appraisal done. So in 4 or 5 days, I know what it appraised for, which I'm really interested to see if my number is exactly, because I'm very good at appraising homes and like classic Mopars. Like I'm an extremely good appraiser, in like the Mopar world. Like, I mean, I know more about Mopar and Dodges and Plymouth, about Barracudas and like 426 Hemi Cudas, and more about like 426 Hemi Cornettes and stuff like that. Like I'm like a treasure trove of knowledge on vintage muscle car knowledge. I mean, like, I know. The thing is, I'm a fan of like Ford, Dodge, and Chevy. Like, I like all three of them. And like the in the vintage market, I love learning everything there is to know about the vintage car market. And I can appraise a car on the spot. Same with a house. And I like to see if an appraiser hits the same number I think. Like, if I'm close. And like on this house, in my mind, I had it appraised at about 160, and somewhere between 150 and 160. And I'm interested to see if this guy that appraised it is going to, give roughly that same number that I really have been considering just going into just doing vehicle and home appraisals, and getting a license to start doing appraisals because, like, to me, this stuff comes naturally, because I've done it for so long that I really have been considering like doing appraising for like divorces, like because like, there's a lot of people do like appraising for divorce cases of like vehicles and assets, and they get paid to do that. And I really thought about doing that just because for fun, really. I mean, for money too, but also just for fun because I genuinely do enjoy testing my skills, you know. And I started off not that really good at it, you know, in my teenage years. And now that I'm, 34 and I've done this forever, um, I'm pretty fucking sharp when it comes to appraising what a property's worth. But that's the beautiful thing about having big money too, though, is you can buy a home and then reflip it and make 50, 60, 70 grand off of it. You know what I mean? Like, and put a little bit of work in it. Like, that's the beauty of having large sums of money to work with, that you don't have to really rely on what silver does. You don't have to rely on what Pokemon does. You don't have to rely on what Disney does. You can, shit. You can also do, usual things on the side that produce way more money. And then if your investments go up, woohoo. But it's pretty much everything I wanted to go over that's been on my mind of will we see Sword and Shield explode higher? Will we see silver explode? What will happen? And we have to keep the kids from getting Pokemon cards. Team Rocket Joy made a video where it has like a Team Rocket grunt, and he's like he has like a fence in front of all the children, and they're like, "Oh, look at the fence." Like, I'm like, dude, I need to hire him as my editor. Once silver hits $1,000 an ounce, I'm gonna hire Team Rocket Joy as my editor. Um, but anyway, yeah, it is very interesting and funny to hear because there was some guy like bitching, and he had tons of booster boxes in the background. He's like, man, my daughter wanted a pack and she was crying, and it's like, dude, you can go buy a pack. Like, everyone in the Pokemon community has the same thing of like dude, you can go buy a pack. You know that, right? And half the parents are like so fucking cheap, like they don't want to buy their kids any damn thing anyway. And it's like, if you can't afford to buy a damn kid a pack, man, you probably shouldn't have had children at all. But I don't know. Like it's crazy because I've had people come to me like, man, I'm getting it for my kid, and I like gave him like a good deal. Like, I remember I had 151 poster collections for sale, and I think I wanted like $25 a piece for them back before they went up. And I had someone that was like, man, I'm getting it for my kid, and I can't like really afford it. Can you do 15? And I'm like, I can't do fucking 15, dude. I'm like, I can do 20. And they're like, okay, it's for my kid. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, I mean, I'll do 20. And they're like, okay. And then they just like don't hit you back. Like, and now it's like that same poster collection's like $60 to $80. Like, and they wouldn't buy it for fucking 20. Like, they're just cheap asses. And that really is what it boils down to. I seen a kid freaking out at Walmart the other day because like they wanted to get a Charizard. They're like, Charizard, and their mom wasn't gonna buy him anything anyway. But there was nothing on the shelf anyway, so the mom could have been like, sure, go get it. And then the kid goes to get it, and there's nothing on the shelf. But instead she's just like, no, we can't do it. We can't do it. And as a parent, it's not a bad thing to tell your kids no. Like, you can tell them no. Like, people have to get used to being told no in life. I mean, you get told no a lot in life. But it's still like, if you want to rip packs, man, like, they're out there. Like, it's not that ridiculous of like every scalper's bought up everything and packs are $300 a piece. Like there are still like you can still get Prismatic Evolutions packs for like $10. You know, like it's not the end of the world. It's the same thing with 151. It was like when people were bitching and complaining, you could still get 151 packs for like $10. You know what I mean? And people still complain. Now they're like double that, like $20 or $30, whatever 151 is now. It just, it's like people just want to complain no matter what, you know, and they do it every time. They call you stupid when the price is low, and then when the price does rise, you're a terrible human being. I don't know. We live in a goofy world. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll keep you posted on everything else going on. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. We're out.